Good morning, everyone. Happy Wednesday, August 4th. Let's dive right in and see what our devotion has for us today. And our title is Faith Without Seeing. It says it was by faith that Abraham obeyed when God called him to leave home to go to another land that God would give him as his inheritance. He went without knowing where he was going. That's Hebrews chapter 11, verse 8. And so that is something that I've thought about, not necessarily with this verse, but earlier on in the Bible when it talks about Abraham and God telling him to go and I will show you where to go, basically. That's to have the kind of faith to be able to go and not know where you're going. That's an incredible amount of faith to me. It says, imagine if someone gave you a picture of a place in the world and then said, you need to go there. You would want to know where it was, how to get there, and what you would need to bring. In the Bible, God asked Abraham to go somewhere, and Abraham didn't even know where. He just went. So, I am a go with the flow type of person in day-to-day stuff. But if I'm going to go somewhere, I want to plan it. If I'm going to take a vacation or whatever it may be, if I'm going to take a trip, I want to plan it. I want to have an idea of, what I'm going to do. Kind of, all right, well, I'm going to go here this day. I'm going to go here this day. I need to be, up and ready at this point. My family loves Disney World, and so we take a Disney trip, and it's funny. I laugh about it because not the very first time, but the second time that we went to Disney, my parents surprised me with it in 2009, and my parents surprised me with it, picked me up from school, that sort of thing. But my mom had made an itinerary of what we were going to do. Literally, like, by the hour, as far as, all right, we're going to eat at this place at this time, this park opens at this time, we're going to do this, we're going to do this, we're going to go eat at this time, fireworks are at this time, parades at this time. She had made an itinerary of all 10 days of our trip. Now we've been so many times that we don't really do that because we just have it memorized, of what stuff is. And nowadays with cell phones and apps being so, right there in our hands, we don't need that sort of thing because we can just look it up. But I like to have a plan. I like to know what I'm going to do, where I'm going to go, that sort of thing. God told Abraham to go. And he didn't know where he was going. But yet, he trusted God and he went. True faith always obeys God. In fact, our obedience to God is what shows us that our faith is real. Abraham took one step at a time before the next one was shown to him. Will you let God show you what your next step is? Abraham took one step at a time. God would tell him, he would step. God would tell him, he would step. God would tell him, he would step. He took a step at a time as God told him. It wasn't, go here, okay, and he goes off and does his own thing, and, I think this is where I'm supposed to be going. It wasn't that. He stopped and waited for God to tell him where his next step was. That is faith. When we have enough faith to be obedient, to follow wherever God leads, even if he doesn't tell us where it is. That's the kind of faith that I want to have. I want to have faith like Abraham to be able to go when God says go, even if I don't know where that go is. I want to have enough faith in God that I'm going to trust Him to lead my steps wherever that may be. Says, Father God, help me to trust You more and lead me each step of the way. God is always leading our every single step. He is always right there telling us where that next step is. We just have to listen. He's not going to force us to listen. That's this thing called free will. God is not going to force us to do anything. We have a choice as humans. We have a choice to pray and listen and be obedient to where God is leading, or we can go our own way. Now me, I struggle at it sometimes, but my goal is to be obedient to God and to follow where He leads. I challenge you today to stop and pray for God to direct your next step where He wants you to go. Allow Him to direct you and lead you along the path that He wants you to go. Not always going to be easy. Just because God's with you doesn't mean it's going to be easy. Sometimes God is going to walk you through the hardest valleys, but He's going to be there. He will be there every step of the way, regardless of how hard it is. Regardless of how easy it is, He will still be there every step of the way. We have to be obedient and follow where He leads. Today, pray for Him to guide your steps. Listen to what He has to say and follow where He leads. Have a great Wednesday, everyone, and be the example.